Mortal Engines takes place in a dystopian future where the world has been destroyed by war and cities have become massive moving structures that consume smaller towns for resources. After the 60-minute war, a global conflict that led to the destruction of Earth, cities adopted a predatory lifestyle. They used massive engines to move across the barren landscapes and devour smaller towns. The movie begins with the massive city of London chasing a smaller town. Here we are introduced to two characters, Hester Shaw, a woman who is in the small town that London is chasing, and Tom Natsworthy, a historian living in London. As the chase goes on, Tom gives a woman named Catherine Valentine a tour of the museum. He tells her of Medusa, the weapon that destroyed the world, and shows her his collection of artifacts that were used to power it, artifacts that he plans to get rid of before they get into the wrong hands. After the small town is caught by London, Tom and Catherine head to the lower levels of London to loot valuable artifacts before they are incinerated. The lower levels are also where the citizens of the former town are welcomed into London, and it is here that Tom encounters Thaddeus Valentine, Catherine's father, and a high official in London who is loved and respected by the people. Among the new citizens is Hester Shaw. She tries to eliminate Valentine by stabbing him with a knife she snuck in, but Tom stops her. Hester runs when she sees the police, so Tom ends up chasing her further into the lower levels. Tom fails to stop Hester before she jumps off the moving city, but not before she tells him that Valentine is a murderer. Valentine arrives right after Hester jumps and asks Tom what happened. Tom tells Valentine everything, including the warning Hester gave him before she jumped. At the mention of the warning, Valentine moves towards Tom and pushes him off the city too. It seems Tom learned something he shouldn't have. What secrets are Valentine hiding that he would easily kill someone who had just saved his life? When Catherine and the London police arrive at the scene, Valentine lies about how Tom fell. He says that Tom fell when he was fighting Hester, but as Catherine looks around, she sees a man who might have witnessed the whole thing, so she goes after him. Hester and Tom survive the fall and form an uneasy alliance as they find themselves stranded in the Outlands. They plan to head for a nearby trade town, but end up being chased by scavengers. An old couple rescues the two and offers to take them to the nearest town, but it's only until it's too late that Tom and Hester realize that they have been kidnapped. What will their fate be? Meanwhile, in London, we see Valentine, who is busy with building a machine using the old tech that he can find. But knowing that Hester Shaw might be a problem to his plans, he gets the help of an imprisoned Resurrected to hunt her. The Resurrected is a deadly human cyborg that seems obsessed with Hester Shaw over a promise she broke, and immediately after Valentine frees it, it heads straight after Hester. Tom and Hester find themselves in an auction south of the Outlands, where people are sold as slaves or food. They get rescued by a woman called Anna Fang, who easily handles the human traders, but as they board Anna Fang's plane to make an escape, the Resurrected arrives. The cyborg gives Tom, Hester, and Anna a hard time, but they manage to escape. In the air, Hester finally opens up to Tom about her past, and we learn that Valentine killed Hester's mother, Pandora Shaw, for an old artifact he wanted and left the continent. Hester escaped from Valentine with a pendant that her mother gave her, but being a child, it wasn't long before the Outlands took a toll on her. The Resurrected, whose name we learn is Shrike, found Hester and raised her. As she grew up, he built her a robot body so that she could forget her pain as a human, and Hester promised to do it. But when Valentine returned to Europe, Hester left Shrike to go and eliminate him, breaking her promise with the Resurrected, who is now after her. Tom, Hester, and Anna Fang arrive at a floating city full of life like the ones on the ground. They are welcomed by members of the Anti-Traction League, but behind them, an airship captained by Shrike the Resurrected also arrives. Back in London, Catherine talks to the engineer, Beavis Pod, who tells Catherine what actually happened to Tom. Together they try to figure out what Valentine is up to, and their investigation leads them to the church in London, where they find out Valentine is rebuilding Medusa, the weapon that destroyed the world, in an attempt to destroy the walled city of Shangguo, a static city and a member of the Anti-Traction League. Back in the floating city, we find out that Anna has been looking for Hester ever since her mother died. The outlaws figure out Valentine's plan with the help of Tom, and admit that they wanted Hester because she was the only one who could can't stop Valentine. The Anti-Traction League also gets news of Valentine's plan to attack Shangguo. But before they can continue with their meeting, Shrike attacks. Anna stays and fights the Resurrected to buy time for Hester and Tom to escape, and even manages to throw it off the ship, but it survives and goes after Hester. Hester ends up having to face Shrike, and Tom steps in to defend her. The cyborg easily knocks him out, but before it finishes him off, Hester pleads with it to spare Tom's life. Shrike is touched by how much Hester cares for Tom, so he frees her from the promise and dies from the wounds he got from battle. The battle with the Resurrected ends up destroying the floating city anyway, so the surviving fighters head straight to Shangguo, where London is planning to attack. After arriving in Shangguo, Tom learns that General Quan's plan is to completely destroy London, and the number of ruined cities beyond the wall of Shangguo is proof that they are capable. But after London arrives, things don't go as planned for the Anti-Traction League. London stops beyond the range of Shangguo's defenses and begins attacking the walled city with its now complete Medusa weapon. The first attack destroys all of Shangguo's defensive and offensive weapons, so all hope seems lost, as there is no other way to destroy London. In the wreckage of the first attack, Hester comes across an image of Medusa with a symbol on its head similar to the pendant she was given by her mother. Inside the pendant, she finds a drive that can destroy Medusa, and so with this new information, Hester, Anna, and Tom get ready to infiltrate London with the help of the Anti-Traction League pilots. Medusa fires off a second time, and an airborne battle between the pilots and the London city turrets begins. Most of the pilots go down, some of them losing their lives in battle, but Hester and Anna succeed in getting into London, leaving Tom piloting Anna's plane. Hester and Anna enter the church where Medusa is operated and find total chaos. The Medusa is overloaded from firing 2 shots without enough time to cool down, but Valentine wants to fire again. The engineers run away from the church, leaving only Valentine. Anna takes advantage of the chaos and fights Valentine, distracting him from Hester, who plugs in the kill drive and attempts to shut down Medusa before it fires again. Valentine holds up his own against Anna Fang and eliminates her, but not before Hester successfully shuts down Medusa. Valentine tries to make an escape, but his daughter Catherine confronts him. She finds out that even with Medusa destroyed, Valentine still plans to take down the Shangguo wall by ramming London into it. Catherine heads to London's controls to try to stop the collision, so Valentine abandons her and tries to escape with an airship, only to find Hester waiting for him. Hester tries to avenge her mother's death and ends up in a fight with Valentine, but again, Valentine seems to best her in combat. In a twist of fate, the man who stopped Hester in her first attempt at Valentine's life now swoops in to rescue her. Tom flies toward Hester, and she jumps onto his plane. Before Valentine makes a getaway, they shoot his aircraft down. Valentine survives the explosion, only to get crushed by the giant city of London. Inside the moving city, Catherine finds out that Valentine has made sure that the city can't be stopped from the inside, so she works with Tom to stop London. With Catherine's help, Tom flies into London and blows up its engines from the inside, finally stopping the city right before it reaches the Shangguo wall, marking an end to the battle. The movie ends with the former citizens of London, led by Catherine Valentine, being welcomed into Shangguo. Hester and Tom fly away together in Anna's plane, now that none of them are tied to their pasts. Thank you for watching this video. Let us know in the comments what your favorite part of the movie was. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our upcoming recaps.